The following is a special presentation of Big Polly's World of Sports Sims, alternating the reality of sports and entertainment since 2020. And greetings, everybody, and welcome to the conclusion of week number 4 here in the Hometown Football League. Got a bug in my throat to start the recording. That's always nice. I'm Big Polly. If you like these videos, be sure to subscribe to my channel and hit that like button that looks like this. And if you really like my channel, hit the bell on the channel, the you know what it is on the YouTube video stream. There's that bell-like icon. If you click it, you get notified of all videos or just personalized videos or whatever it is you want to see on my channel. Go ahead and do it to your heart's content. As we always do on the last game of week number 4, we're gonna play out the games that we didn't get to that took place in the game timeline on Sunday. So let's get to that. Pittsburgh and Atlanta will be our first stop of 10. And in that game, it was 22-17, Atlanta beating Pittsburgh. Go Atlanta! As opposed to Oh My Atlanta. And we'll show you the scoring summary here. Matty Ryan was the player of the game, and it was a pick by Richardson that gave Atlanta the win at 9:07 left in the fourth quarter. We'll show you the team stats. Try to speed these summaries up a little bit so we can get to our Monday night game, Las Vegas at Houston. Very close battle in terms of offense. Yardage, each team scoring touchdowns in the red zone. Pittsburgh ran 69 plays to Atlanta's 57. So not that close there. And to the player stats, it was Matty Ryan 27 of 42, 339 yards, 2 touchdowns. Leading rusher was Bettis, 13 for 81. Miller and White each had 9 catches, but the leading receiver in terms of yardage was White, 148, Roddy White. And I always like to look at let's go back here a minute. You look at the game film there, or part of it. Brown for Atlanta with 11 tackles. So Atlanta moving up to 2-2 in the HTFL Southern Division with that 22-17 win. New York traveled to Detroit. Detroit came in 3-0. And like the other 3-0 teams that we have had so far this week in the HTFL, they finally get handed a loss. There's this thing called loss. Here you go. As New York wins 21-17. We'll show you the box on that. MVP was Y.A. Tittle, who threw 3 straight touchdown passes in the fourth quarter after Detroit had a 17-0 lead. We'll show you the team stats, and just pause on that for a minute. You might want to hit pause on your stream to see that in great detail. And now we will show you the player stats. Great performance by Tittle, 19 of 37, 299. He threw 1 pick that was returned for a touchdown, but he threw 3 of his own. Barry Sanders, 17 for 103. Powell and Odell Beckham Jr. each had 5 catches, and Beckham had the most yardage on his catches with 111. And Harry Carson for the Giants, 8 tackles to lead everybody. So New York goes to 3-1 in the Eastern Division. They are now tied with Washington and Baltimore for the best record, with a long way to go in this season still, 14 weeks. So it won't be a short time to get there. And Detroit now falls to 3-1. They're tied with Minnesota at the moment. We have another team 2-1 in the North that we're going to play out their game right now against Kansas City. I think Kansas City would take this, even though if I was a Vegas bettor, I'd take Kansas City in the 10 points. And I would have gotten a push. It was 26-16, Cleveland over KC. And we'll show you the MVP was Kellen Winslow. A lot of field goals in this game. You think with that kind of score, a safety would have been involved, but not the case. Barr hit 1, 2, 3, 4 field goals. Butker hit 3. Joe Montana, and Otto Graham each had touchdowns. And the MVP was Winslow, but we said that already. Both teams perfect in the red zone, although half of each team's drives resulted in field goals. Kansas City 57 plays. Cleveland had 65, and they had 32:03 time of possession. It was Montana having the better game. I would guess here, if you just permit me to look back, that the weather was a problem, and yes, it was. Wind was blowing 15 to 25 mile per hour winds. But Montana had the better day, actually, 18 to 35, 143 yards. Jim Brown, 19 carries and 74 yards. Leading pass catcher was Gonzalez with 10, and he also led in receiving with 109. And let's see, the leading tackler was Willie Lanier for Kansas City with 8. So Cleveland goes to 3-1, so they joined the party in the HTFL Northern Division with the 26-16 win. Monday, we played Miami and Minnesota out. Miami improved to 3-1. Minnesota fell to 3-1 with a 13-10 win. Denver and Cincinnati will be our next stop. Denver was favored by 2, but never underlook an underdog at home is what the gambling adage is. And there's a good reason for it. Cincinnati outlasts Denver 35 to 32. And there's the scoring summary there. It was Kenny Anderson who was the MVP. He threw 5 touchdown passes in the 35-32 win, including one to Pickens from 13 yards out with 24 seconds left to give Cincinnati the W. For Cincinnati in the AFC Championship game this weekend against Kansas City. We had 13 visits to the red zone, but neither team was perfect. Denver 3 touchdowns, 2 field goals, and Cincinnati went 5 touchdowns and 7 attempts. Cincinnati only had it for 49 plays. Denver had it for 71, and they held the ball for 7 more minutes, and they still lost to the Bengals. The stats on Kenny Anderson, who always was an accurate passer back in his day, 21 of 30, 280, 4 touchdowns. I thought I saw 5. And his rate was 138.9. Leading rusher, Terrell Davis, 20 of 31 for a touchdown. Leading pass catcher was Rod Smith, 8 for 120. And nobody was better yardage-wise. And the leading tackler was Casanova of Cincinnati, who made 14 tackles. Parrish right behind him at 10. So Denver losing to Cincinnati 35-32. And they go to 2-2, and Denver falls to 2-2. We played Tampa Bay and Buffalo out Tuesday. Tampa Bay winning 34-24. They've been a surprise so far in the HTFL, even with Tom Brady helming them. Tampa Bay's all-time team doesn't have the best players of the bunch, but Brady's making a difference with them. We play out now Philadelphia and the Colts. Philadelphia favored by 6, but again, gotta like the home dog. And it's the Colts winning 20-10. And we'll go back and look at the complete here. And that was not Oliver Luck. I was thinking of Andrew's father. Andrew Luck threw a touchdown pass, and he gets player of the game honors. Here's your team stats. Indianapolis perfect in the red zone, although they kicked 2 field goals. Indianapolis slightly better on time of possession, but Philadelphia ran 65 plays to 61 for the Colts. Luck went 23 of 37, 271 yards and a touchdown. Leading rusher was McCoy with 41 yards. Neither team ran the ball particularly well. Colts had two good receivers on this day. Harrison 9 for 119, Wayne 9 for 113. So two 100-yard receivers. Buchanan had a 10-tackle day for the Colts, leading everybody. So the Colts 20-10 over Philadelphia. If I can X out of that page, and the Colts are now 2-2, and the Eagles are 1-3. If you're waiting for the Las Vegas-Houston game, we'll be getting to that as soon as we're done with the summaries, and we're going to show you what games we're going to feature in week number 5 before kickoff in Houston. Jacksonville 2-1, Los Angeles a surprising 0-3. Jacksonville a heavy favorite, but it's Los Angeles getting their first win, 30-13, long overdue. For the Rams, which is a combination of the Rams, LA Raiders, LA Chargers, and the LA Dons of the AAFC. Goff was the player of the game, even though he now is a Detroit Lion. Here's your team stats. LA got 439 yards of total offense to Jacksonville having 329. Each team perfect in the red zone, although the Rams kicked 2 field goals and Jacksonville kicked 1. 64 plays to 57, and LA held the ball 34-20. Your player stats: Goff 18 of 33, 277, 2 touchdowns. Leading rusher was McCutcheon, 15 carries for 88 yards. David Gerard had a good rushing game, 7 carries for 81, so he was able to scramble. Christensen, the leading receiver, 8 catches for 144. Only 100-yard receiving yardage game. And Ramsey and Smith, each with 8 tackles for the Jags, but it's the Rams, easy, 30-13. Next up, Tennessee and St. Louis at the Dome, Edward Jones Dome, where they're going to have the Royal Rumble tomorrow, as I record this January 28, 2022. And your winner here was St. Louis. Cue up the Todd Rundgren music, 24-13. MVP was Neil Lomax, who threw 2 touchdown passes, one to Smith and one to Bruce. G'day, Bruce. Here's your team stats. 6 trips to the red zone for St. Louis, only 3 touchdowns and a field goal out of that, but it's good enough to win. They held the ball 33-48, about 7.5 minutes more than Tennessee did. Tennessee 52 plays, St. Louis 65. 11 penalties in the game. Your player stats: Lomax 23 of 43 for 271, 2 touchdowns. Falk 12 carries for 78 yards, and it was Smith, Jackie Smith, 6 catches for 73, and nobody else was. Actually, I take that wrong. Mason caught 2 passes for 93 yards. It had to be a 47 and a 46 because 47 was as long. So they were able to fire a couple of bombs. Meanert for the St. Louis Maroons, 10 tackles. So again, St. Louis a 24-13 winner. New England and Dallas, another intersectional game. Dallas favored by 12. But it's New England Road Dogs winning 24-19. And we'll go back and show you that Randy Moss, who plays for New England this year, was the MVP because he was a former New England Patriot. He was on that 07 team that nearly had a perfect season, but the Giants foiled those plans. Here's your team stats. New England, actually, Dallas had 5 trips to the red zone, and they only got 13 points out of all of that. New England 54 plays and Dallas 63, but New England won the time of possession battle. The better day was held by Bledsoe. Drew Bledsoe 22 of 31 for 292, 1 pick, 2 touchdowns. Leading rusher was Ezekiel Elliott, 19 for 73. Randy Moss, 9 catches, 157 yards. Shades of the Thanksgiving Day game where they totally destroyed the Dallas Cowboys on that day. And Moss wound up with the turducken, God bless John Madden, to show for it. McCourt, Law, and Walls all with 8 tackles. Walls playing with Dallas, the other 2 playing with New England. So New England gets the win, and both New England and Dallas are 2-2. So Dallas cannot join the leaders atop the Southern Division, which are right now Tampa Bay and Miami. They'll go into Week 5 with the division lead tied between them. Arizona and Chicago. This was a game that took place in the NFL this year. And it was the Bears prevailing 24-17. In this game, the MVP was Walter Payton. And Sid Luckman threw a couple of touchdowns. Team stats. Both teams perfect in the red zone. They each kicked a field goal. Arizona 54 plays. And Chicago 67. They held the ball 11 and a half minutes longer than Arizona did. Player stats. You see them there. Actually, Warner had the better game, 18 of 36, 64.9. Emmitt Smith held to 23 yards on 9 carries. Peyton, 23 carries for 117. We had Moore, Emmitt Smith, and Hill, each with 5 catches, but Hill had 100 yards to lead everybody. Leading tackler was McKinnon for Arizona with 7. So Chicago 24 and Arizona 17. Just a little ways away from getting you to Las Vegas and Houston, so stay tuned. New Orleans and Seattle, each team 1-2. Seattle was favored by 5. But it's New Orleans winning a shootout, 45-42. That looked like a hell of a game. And it was New Orleans winning it on a 56-yard field goal by Lutz with 4:53 left in overtime. So these teams battled and battled and battled. It looked like New Orleans had the game won. It was 42-21. But Seattle had made a tremendous rally and a fumble recovery by Dave Brown from 63 yards out with 20 seconds to go. Changed the fate of the game, but New Orleans winning it out in the end, 45-42. Great rally by Seattle. 936 yards of total offense. New Orleans had 527 of those. They held the ball 40 minutes, 33 seconds. As this goes deep into overtime, they ran 84 plays to Seattle's 56. They committed 5 turnovers, New Orleans did, but they still won. Player stats, Drew Brees, look at that. 28 of 49, 436 yards. But actually, Russell Wilson had the better game. 22 of 39 for 297, 3 touchdowns. Gave up 4 sacks, or his offensive line did. Best rusher was Williams, John L., 9 of 76. And we had 3 players on the Saints go over 100 yards. Thomas, 10 catches, led everybody for 117. Joe Horn, 5 for 126. Graham, 4 for 105. But the best day was Steve Largent's 7 catches for 145 yards. So he led the yardage leaders. Or had the best game yardage-wise, I guess I should say. And Wright had 12 tackles for Seattle. That led everybody. So how about that? New Orleans over Seattle in a shootout, 45-42, with Drew Brees throwing for 436. Yesterday we had Washington playing San Francisco. Washington with a convincing 25-3 win. And our final tour stop before we begin Las Vegas and Houston is Carolina and San Diego. And it's San Diego with a 42-28 win, their first win of the year. We featured them in the very first game of Season 2 against San Francisco. MVP was Phillip Rivers. Looked like he threw 5 touchdown passes. I'm sorry, might have thrown 6. Let's see. San Diego 481 yards of total offense. They only held it for 27-52. Carolina ran 59 plays. San Diego ran 57. Let's look at this line for. Yeah, he threw 6 touchdowns. Rivers did. 23 of 32, 387, 1 pick, 6 touchdowns. Leading rusher was LaDainian Tomlinson, 14 of 66. Lance Allworth, 10 catches for 194 yards. And your leading tacklers were Kuechly and Sayao. Kuechly of Carolina, Sayao of San Diego. They each had 8. So that gets us to our game, which is going to be Las Vegas and Houston. I thank you all very much for your patience. It took me 20 minutes to get through those games. I will play as Houston, but first, let's check off the games we're going to do next week. Baltimore and New York. I will check mark that game. Chicago and Cleveland will be another game we do next week. Looking at this third horizontal line, San Francisco and Kansas City, well, we definitely got to do that. And let's see here. We'll do Las Vegas and Arizona. And the Monday night game next week will be Indianapolis and Minnesota. So that's your schedule for next week. So both Baltimore and New York will be, which was a semifinal game in the playoffs last year. That'll be a game we do come Monday. It'll be all right. We're inside in Reliant Stadium, so we don't shave 10 degrees off the temperature. I will play as Houston. The computer plays as Las Vegas. Houston Oilers. Combination of the Oilers and Texans. Las Vegas, a combination of the Raiders that have played in Las Vegas in 2020 and 2021. Actually, 2021 doesn't count in this game because I have the 2020 historical set. Because when I started the season back in September, the 2021 historical set had not come out yet. So what we do to fill up the Las Vegas team is the rest of the team is castaways. Players that were not picked by the respective 31 other teams. And that's how we do Las Vegas until they have enough players where we can fill a franchise with them. Deshaun Watson against Derek Carr. That'll be our quarterbacking matchup. Houston did not win the toss. Las Vegas did. I'll take the ball to start the first half. It's Levias, Johnson, and Slayton back deep for the Oilers. They chose the Oilers nickname over the Texans. Try to appeal to old school Houston football fans. Your lineup for Houston will go as follows. Campbell and Cannon are your running backs. The numbers you see on the right side are their receiving numbers. Johnson is a 10 receiver. And let me get back in the base formation and give you the other wide receiver because I already went to double tight end. Hopkins is a 9. Owen Daniels is a 6. And for the offensive linemen, the numbers represent their blocking numbers. 10 being the best and 1 being absolutely terrible. Brown is an 8, Matthews is a 10, Myers is an 8, Munchak is a 10, and Jameson is an 8. And that's your lineup for Houston. We'll do the Las Vegas defense for you in just a minute. Off tackle, Earl Campbell on first down. And he gets to give, and he loses a yard. Asamoah making the tackle for Vegas. Here is their lineup, and the numbers are all their defensive ratings. They have 110, which we're going to get to in a minute. Eisenhower, Schwartz, Kennard, and Antwine. Kennard is a two-way player. We'll see him play on the offensive line when Las Vegas has the ball. He's the only 10 in the lineup. Harvey, Buoniconti, that's Nick Buoniconti of the Patriots and Dolphins, and Addison, an 8, a 9, and an 8. Azamuga is a 9. Fred the Hammer Williamson is an 8. McDonald is a 9. And Goldson is an 8. And we go back to the game. And we're going to sweep it right with Earl Campbell on 2nd and 11. Surely they can't get us twice. And Campbell picking up 9. Ran wild against the Tennessee Titans, 22 carries and 131 yards. That was last week. It's now 3rd and 2. They'll go to the double tight end set now, and they're going to go right back to Earl. Trap to the right side. Will it work? It will definitely work. Past the 35, past the 40 to the 43, a gain of 15 yards, and the first down. So they're not afraid to give the ball to Earl Campbell here. Sweep right with Billy Cannon. And Cannon picks up 4. He was a star on the early Houston Oilers teams that contended in the AFL in the early 60s. They played in that famous game in 1962 against the Dallas Texans, who the following year would move to Kansas City. And it was the first game that needed 2 overtime periods to complete. And Dallas wound up winning that 20-17 after Amber Haynes. Oh boy, not Amber Haynes. That sounds like a porn star. Abner Haynes goofed on the coin toss and said he was going to kick to the clock. Gain of 10, and that's Earl Campbell again. Amber Haynes. I'm sure there probably has been a porn star named Amber Haynes, but I'm not aware of it. Charlie Hennigan on a medium cross, but it looks like Las Vegas was ready for Houston to throw, and they spotted it. Deshaun Watson gains 5 yards, and it's 2nd and 5. We're going to go right back to Earl. Trap right on that 2nd and 5 call. And Campbell just motoring down the highway. 20, 15, 10, down to the 6. He picks up 32 yards, and he's had a very good opening drive. Getting a little winded, so we're going to go Billy Cannon on 1st and goal from the 6. And Cannon will score. Touchdown, Oilers. 6-0 in favor of Houston with the point after to come. And in the HTFL, we do things old school. We kick from the 2-yard line, line of scrimmage being the 2-yard line. So it should be a chip shot, and it is. Del Greco puts it through, and it is 7-0 in favor of the Oilers. The Ironmen, which is what we call the Las Vegas franchise, until it gets filled out by some more Las Vegas Raiders. Gafford, Guerin, and Davis back deep. There's the kick. And it was taken by Gafford, who returned it 35 yards to the 42. 9:18 left opening quarter, and now the Ironmen have the ball. Their lineup. Garner is an 8 receiver, and Colmer is a 3. Those are your running backs. Lavernius Coles and Victor Cruz, a 9 and a 7. Davis is a 6 receiver. He's the tight end. Carr, the quarterback. Kennard, who we were just mentioning, when Houston had the ball, he's a 10 at the left tackle. Rasmussen is a 7. Oates is an 8, former Giant. Moore a 7. And Barton is an 8 at the right tackle position. And we'll give you Houston's particulars after this first play from the 42. And the give is to Garner, who picks up for Colmer with a lead block that's kind of spraying Garner a little bit. Houston has 2 10s, 1 10 plus, that's J.J. Watt. Williams is the other defensive end, he's a 9. Childress and Curly Culp are your defensive tackles. They are both, they're not both 9s. Childress is a 9 and Curly is an 8. Brazil is a 10, or Brazil. Ryans is an 8. Webster is a 9. Those are your linebackers. Farr an 8. Dishman an 8. Bishop a 9. And Reinfeldt is an 8. Those are your defensive backs. Now you know everybody. 2nd and 6 at the 46 for Vegas. Screen, Garner, and he'll have a first down. That's a pickup of 10.
Defense, number 79, 5-yard penalty.
And the penalty is declined because the result was a first down. So that's a pickup of 10 for Garner. 1st and 10 at the 44. That's a nice throw to Davis. Vernon Davis with a 13-yard catch. And that's a 1st and 10 for Vegas with 8:06 left. Was reminded that James Garner, the actor, probably best known for some movies, Maverick, The Rockford Files, was a big not a Houston Oiler fan, but a Oakland Raider fan. 1st and 10 at the 31. There's the throw, complete to Coles. Gain of 15. Dishman on the stop for Houston. And now Vegas marching right along. 1st and 10 at the 16. Colmer gains 5 yards. That's Mickey Colmer. This picture of him is not all that great. Played at Miramont Junior College. 2nd and 5 at the 11. You don't see a lot of players make the pros from the junior college ranks anymore. Colmer on that screen pass picks up 4, and it's 3rd and 1 at the 7. 5:47 left to go now in the opening quarter. That's Garner. He gets the first, a gain of 4 to the 3. J.J. Watt making the tackle. His brother T.J. Watt, of course, a stalwart for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And Ben Roethlisberger retired yesterday, Big Ben. So Pittsburgh will have to go get a new quarterback. Colmer stopped at the line. In fact, he lost a yard, and there was J.J. Watt again. 2nd and goal at the 4. I'm sure TJ will be at the Pro Bowl if he wants to play. And that is another loss of a yard for Colmer, but Culp is being helped back to the sidelines. So Walker comes in to replace Culp at that defensive tackle position. He's out of Auburn. Played for the Texans. 3rd and goal at the 5. Touchdown, Mickey Colmer. And it's now a 7-6 game. Extra point try is good by Gino Capoletti. Oh, I'm sorry, it is not. No good. And it's going to stay at 7-6 in favor of Houston. So I blew the call on that. Levias, Johnson, and Slayton back deep for Houston. And the kick's going to go out of bounds.
Kicking team.
Kick was by Tucker. Probably should be kicking the extra points and not Gino Capoletti. 1st and 10. Gino Capoletti, nothing to be sneezed at. He was the leading scorer in AFL history. 1st and 10 at the 40 for Houston with 3:16 to go. Trap right on 1st and 10. And that is a 2-yard gain. Houston Antwine, the former Boston Patriot, making the stop. Speaking of the New England/Boston Patriots, 2nd and 8. We'll go Cannon. Sweep left in the double tight end set. So Houston showing a commitment to the run, but it doesn't work there. Eisenhower on the stop. Let's profile Eisenhower. He's out of Boston College, 1963. 3rd and 8, ball at the 42. They'll go 4 wide, and they're going to look to Charlie Hennigan on a medium cross, which will be the first pass Houston has thrown today. It's an incompletion, and at 4th and 8, they will punt. Jim Norton coming in. Taylor taking it about the 10, moving it out past
Holding. Receiving team.
the 30, but that's going to come back. They get Mel Hine for holding, and that's going to be a 1st and 10 at the 8 for Vegas with 1:37 to go. You see a lot of New York players on this Vegas team because New York is a hybrid of the Jets, Giants, Brooklyn Dodgers, New York Yankees, New York Bulldogs. 1st and 10 at the 8. This is a give to Garner, no gain. Webster on the tackle. It's going to be 2nd and 10. 1:30 to go now. Throw from Carr to Vernon Davis is incomplete. 3rd and 10. Ball at the 8 still. So if they stop him here, Houston should get good field position. And it's incomplete. Brazil broke it up. Carr leveled after the throw, but he looks to be okay. So Vegas punting from their own end zone. This is where special teams has to be real tight. And this is a return from Billy White Shoes Johnson, 11 yards to the Vegas 38. The punt went 41 yards, so the net was 30. 1st and 10 for Houston. We'll go Campbell, trapped to the left side in a double tight end formation. And Campbell picks up another 77 yards, and he will end the first quarter with 74 yards on 7 carries. At the end of 15, it's Houston 7 and Las Vegas 6. Las Vegas 13 plays, 58 yards. Houston 12 plays, 11 of them have been rushes for 89. 2nd and 3. We're going to go play action here, see if we catch him napping. Go to Johnson, Andre Johnson. And they do. 20, 15, 10, 5. Book it. Touchdown, Houston. Andre Johnson. A 31-yard pass and run from Watson. Elementary, I suppose. 13-6. Point after by Del Greco is good, and now the lead is 8. 14-6 with 14:43 left to go. Gafford, Guerin, and Davis. Sounds like a law firm. They're waiting back deep. And it's going to be Gafford. His return to the 28 from the goal line exactly. So it was a 28-yard gain on the return. 14:34 left now in the half. And the Ironmen trail by 8. Carr pitching to Garner. And Garner picks up 5. Ryan's on the stop. Carr now 4 of 6 for 42 yards. 2nd and 5 at the 33. Give us to Colmer, and the Mick picks up a couple. He's at 5 carries for 10 and 1 catch for 4. 3rd and 3 at the 35. A throw and a catch, but let's check that marker.
Offense, number 79.
Oh, this is coming back.
10-yard penalty.
They get Harris Barton for holding, the former 49er. And it's 3rd and 13 at the 25. And Vegas will have to roll them dice again.
False start. Offense, number 79. 5-yard penalty. Repeat. 3rd down.
Well, Harris Barton's not having a good time of it right now. Back-to-back penalties on him. 3rd and 18. The ball at the 20. Here's your throw to Colmer. That's a 3-yard gain. And Vegas will have to punt it away. Not going to go for it with that down in distance on your own 23. Here's the punt. It's Billy White Shoes Johnson with a big return. 15 yards to the Vegas 45. And Houston continues to enjoy good field position. Trap right Earl Campbell in the 3-wide set. That's a gain of 2. Antwine on the stop. We'll go Owen Daniels on a medium hitch on 2nd and 8. It's there. And that's a gain of 14 and a first down for Houston. We'll go back to the running game. And we'll look trap left to Earl Campbell in the double tight end formation. And Earl saying goodbye to the lineman and hello to the secondary. It was Fred the Hammer Williamson making the tackle, a gain of 9, and it's 2nd and 1. You remember Goodbye Earl by the Dixie Chicks, right? 2nd in the yard, dive to Billy Cannon. Try to get the first down. He does not, as Williamson steps up and lowers the boom on him. No gain, it's 3rd in the yard. We'll go triple tight end. And we'll put Campbell to work on a dive. Surely they could get the yard here, and they do pick up a 4. As we're now at 9:08 left in the half. 1st and 10 at the 16. As I say hello to my cat Ella, who's decided to join me here. Ella sees something outside, but I don't know what it is. Off tackle right, Campbell. Gain of 4. It's Addison on the stop for Vegas. I think he hears me talk, and I think he wonders who I talk to. And who I'm talking to is to you, YouTube audience. A gain of 4. And with Addison making the stop at 2nd and 6 at the 12, we'll go back to Campbell. Trap to the right side. Vegas playing with 8 in the box. Gain of 2 for Campbell. Addison making the play. And it's 3rd and 4 at the 10. We'll go 3 wide. And we'll look to Hopkins on a short cross. And he's got it, and he's got 6. Touchdown, Oilers. And with that, it is 20-6. Point after for Del Greco, forthcoming. It's good, and it's 21-6 with 7:03 left to go in the half. So Houston trying to become the 4th team this week to knock off an undefeated team. And it's Gafford again waiting for the kickoff. Taken in front of the goal line. He took it at the 2. He returned it to the 38. So a good return for him of 36 yards. And now Vegas again. 1st and 10 at the 38. All 3-0 teams have lost so far. Long throw, and that was to Vernon Davis for 25 yards. He caught 6 passes last week against Kansas City for 96. 1st and 10 now, a 6:42 to go. It's a give to Colmer. Colmer with a 6-yard gain. Ryan's on the stop for Las Vegas. And with that, it is 2nd and 4. Carr is now 6 of 8 for 70 yards. And it's a throw and a catch to Vernon Davis for 13. Tackle made by Bishop at the 18. And here comes Las Vegas, a 1st and 10 at the 18. Of course, the eastern part of the United States, as I record this on January 28, about to get hit by a nor'easter, and it's even going to be cold here in Florida. That's a gain of 8 yards by Colmer, and it was Ryans making the stop for Houston at the 10. This sets up a 2nd and 2 with 4:28 left in the half. Touchdown. That was Carr to Vernon Davis from 10 yards out. It's 21-12. Capoletti coming on. Can't miss this one, right? He doesn't. It's 21-13 with 3:41 left to go. So a little back and forth action here for you all folks on this Monday night on a Friday night. Levias, Johnson, and Slayton back deep. It's going to be taken by Levias, but well into the end zone. He'll just take a knee, and Houston gets it at the 20. Back to Earl Campbell. Trap right. And Campbell is loose. Past the 30, past the 40, all the way out to the 45, to the 48.
Offsides. Defense. Number 24. 5-yard penalty.
Hey, Fred the Hammer Williamson gets called for offsides. They'll decline it. And that puts Campbell at 123 yards rushing. And we're not even done with the first half yet. We'll give him a rest, and we'll go to Billy Cannon, sweep to the right side in the double tight end set, which has been working out so well for Houston so far in this game. A gain of 5 for Cannon, and it's going to be 2nd and 5. Vegas wise to it. They've been bringing their safety in and putting 8 in the box, but still, it doesn't matter to Houston. They've been executing the running plays very good. And this is another surge for Campbell. Another 22 yards. Goldson making the tackle at the 25. So Campbell is now up to 145 yards. 1st and 10, 2:24 left. We'll take it to the 2-minute warning. It's 21-13 Houston, each team with the full complement of 3 timeouts. And we'll go Hennigan on a medium cross. Watson will run. He's past the 10 to the 8, a gain of 17. They'll hurry to the line and go to Earl Campbell, off tackle right side. And Campbell, 6 more yards to get to 151. And Houston will call their first timeout. They will have 2 left. They wouldn't mind bleeding the clock here a little bit and getting that score. Campbell on a dive in the double tight end formation, and Campbell is in. 2 yards out, a touchdown for Houston, their 4th of the half, and it's 27-13. Del Greco on for the point after. It's good, and it's 28-13. We've had 6 touchdowns this half, and we still have a minute 18 left in it. Gafford back deep for Vegas. Takes it at just outside of his 5. This is a nice return. He took it from the 3, ran it back to the 46. So the return was 43 yards. 1st and 10. A couple of passes, and Vegas is in field goal range at the very least. They have 3 timeouts to them. And it's Carr. He finds Emmanuel Sanders for a 17-yard gain. Joseph on the tackle. And will Vegas call time? They will. They have 2 left. 1st and 10. Ball resting at the Houston 37 as we continue to go back and forth with this one. That's a catch by Sanders. 3-yard gain on the play. He got out of bounds, so Vegas does not have to expend the timeout. 2nd and 7 at the 34. Colmer's going to throw, and it's a completion. It went Carr to Colmer to Sanders, a gain of 8. Sounds like a double play combination. And Joseph on the tackle. And Vegas is at the Houston 26. Those old school running backs, they can throw. That's an incompletion deflected by Dishman, nearly picked. And there's now 39 seconds left. 2nd and 10 from there. The throw by Carr is incomplete. No catch. Broken up by Farr. And now you got 3rd and 10 at the 26 still. 29 seconds left in the half. Carr scrambling, and that's an incompletion intended for Sanders. So they will try a field goal here. Justin Tucker, who of course in real life in 2021 in week 3 hit a 66-yard field goal to break the NFL record. He will try a field goal here of some 40 some odd yards. It was 43 yards. It's good. And it's 28-16 with 16 seconds left. I will set up for a normal return, but it's going to go well into the end zone for a touchback. So what do you do here if you're Houston? Because I think Vegas gets the ball to start the second half. Well, I still got 2 timeouts left, so we'll try a medium fly route to DeAndre Hopkins. There's that throw. That's incomplete. 10 seconds left. And we're just going to go to the half. Sweep to the left side, Earl Campbell. And this might be worth a few yards. It's a gain of 6. And we have reached halftime. 28-16 is your score. So, in about 30 minutes' time, the 4th week of HTFL play will be history. Over the weekend, I'll do PWT on Saturday. We got the All-Stars card from Philadelphia. And we'll have more when we're going to have the entire card. And then on Sunday, I do my OOTP Perfect Team Series. Monday, I come back. We'll do Baltimore and New York to kick off week number 5 here in the HTFL. So I hope you enjoy the good weekend. If you're in the eastern part of the United States, stay safe. Stay safe. It's going to be windy and cold even here in Tampa. That the expected high tomorrow will be 47, which for us is cold. But I go into that way too much. So Las Vegas had 27 plays, 158 yards. I know the East Coast is going to get a nor'easter, and New York and Boston could get really hit hard, and we hope everybody has prepared for that. You know, there was a bridge collapse today in Pittsburgh, and we wish everybody in Pittsburgh good luck in the recovery efforts there. Houston 29 plays for 251 and Vegas 27 plays for 158. Earl Campbell is at 159 yards already, so he has had quite the day. Gafford back deep for Vegas. They get the ball to start the second half, so next time Houston sees it, the lead could only be 5. Gafford returned at 27 yards to the 31, and that's where Vegas sets up shop for the second half. First and 10 from there. And it's Derek Carr with it. He's going to throw, looking deep, but incomplete. Victor Cruz was the intended receiver. It was far tipping it. And it's second and 10 at the 31. And let's see what David Carr can be up to here. Oh, immediately sacked by Childress, Ray Childress, with an 8-yard loss. And that forces Vegas to go 3rd and 18 at the 23. Okay, Ella, I don't want you messing up my screen. Thank you very much. Ella has decided to join me. And that was to Vernon Davis. Carr to Vernon Davis, a gain of 3. They needed 18, they only got 3. So Willie White Shoes Johnson back to receive the punt. He had to back up on this. And Johnson returning it 12 yards, so Vegas may have outkicked their coverage. Punt went 42, so the net was 30. You can go up there, Ellie. Earl Campbell, trap right on 1st and 10. And Campbell motoring ahead into the secondary, a gain of 15 yards. Addison making the tackle for Vegas. And Campbell now up to a $174 on the day. Off tackle right, Billy Cannon. He gains a yard. And Addison again, keeping very busy. He makes the tackle. As Ellie sniffs around the monitor that I'm trying to do the game. Okay, Ellie. We'll go back to Campbell, off tackle right, 2nd and 9. Go visit your friends Astrays in your local area, everybody. Cat or a dog, if you prefer, will make your life so much better. Gain of 6. And Addison again making the tackle. Somebody get the smelling salts on him because that's 3 straight tackles. And Campbell now on his 19th carry has rushed for 180 yards. So he could probably go to 200 before this day is over. We're going to pitch it to the outside with Earl. Really test our luck. And that's a gain of just a yard. Schwartz making the tackle for Vegas. And it's 4th down. Aldo Greco comes on. This field goal will be from 50 yards. Might be out of his range, but it's not. It's good. And Houston now with a 31-16 lead. Ellie, be nice. Be nice, Ellie. I'll be done in about half an hour. Gafford back deep for Las Vegas. I apologize, folks. And Gafford taking it in front of his own goal line to return 26 yards to the 28. And it's 1st and 10 at the 28. 9:34 left in quarter number 3. Carr looking for Coles. Brazel got a hand on it. It falls incomplete. Carr is now 12 of 19 for 124 yards. So it's been a quiet day offensively for Las Vegas, but Earl Campbell providing all the thunder for Houston. Carr going deep. Has a man. It's Coles this time. And that's a play of 42 yards. They were doubling Victor Cruz, and that might have caused Coles to be so open. It's 1st and 10 at the Houston 30. So now Vegas in business again. That's an incomplete pass. Carr was looking for Emmanuel Sanders. It was tipped by Bishop. And it's 2nd and 10 at the 30. So I use my left hand to play with the cat. I only need one hand to do this. That's an incompletion. Hit by far onto Cruz. And it's going to be 3rd and 10 at the 30. 8:23 now left to go. 5th play of the drive. And that's going to be a first down, it looks like. Colmer gaining 10. Ryan's on the stop for Houston, so Ryan's hope not fulfilled. 1st and 10 at the 20. Vegas back in the red zone. The give to Garner. Garner's got a first down, but
Encroachment defense.
it's going to count.
Number 94, 5-yard penalty.
Williams called for encroachment. It's 1st and goal at the 9 for the Ironmen. As Ellie continues to wonder, why won't you play with me?
Encroachment defense. Number 94, 5-yard penalty.
Okay, so Williams gets called for encroachment. Move the ball half the distance to the Houston goal line at the 4, 1st and goal. Carr, an incompletion, batted at the line by Williams. And right now it's a 2nd and goal at the 4. An incomplete pass. Carr just threw that away back in the end zone. Couldn't find anybody open. On the 9th play of the drive, a 3rd and goal at the 4. Carr now 14 of 25 for 176 yards and a touchdown. Carr looking, throwing to Colmer, a gain of 3. And it's 4th and goal from the 1. I will watch for a fake here. And no, it's Tucker kicking it through from 18 out. And it's 31-19. I'm surprised Vegas didn't go for it because a field goal doesn't really help them. Keeps them down 2 scores. Levias back deep for Houston. Will down it. 6:14 left in the 3rd. We'll go right back to Earl Campbell. Trap to the right side. And Campbell, a gain of 3. They were doubling on Andre Johnson. Not keying on Campbell. That gain of 3 gets Campbell to 184 on the day. This is prowess continues to be shown. Trap to the right for Earl Campbell. And we'll have to check the penalty.
Holding. Offense.
Oh, a hold.
Number 63, 10-yard penalty.
Mike Munchak gets called for holding. It's 2nd and 17. I'm still going to run it with Campbell. Been having good luck all day. Why stop? When we get to 3rd down, then we'll have to throw. Gain of 8. They keep pounding away with Campbell. He's up to 192 yards. 3 wide receiver set for the Houston Oilers. Houston Oilers. We'll go Hopkins as the intended receiver. Man in motion. Oh, and Schwartz got a good jump on the snap. He sacks Watson. Watson didn't even know what hit him. A loss of 7, and it's 4th and 16. They'll bring Norton in the punt. And the punt was a good one that backed up Taylor at the 42. The punt went 44. The return was 11, but Taylor was set up a little farther up the field, and he had to go on his bicycle and go get it. 1st and 10, Vegas at the Houston 47, so they have excellent field position. Now tide could be turning to Vegas with 3:40 left in the 3rd. It's Carr throwing, incomplete, bouncing off of Vernon Davis, incomplete. 2nd and 10. The receiver's not really helping Vegas out a lot. Still at the 47 of Houston. That's a throw and a catch to Lavernius Coles, who gains 8. Coles now 3 catches, 65 yards. 3rd and 2, ball at the 39. And that's an incomplete pass. Incomplete pass looking to Davis. Now Tucker, we were talking about his good range earlier, that he hit a 66-yarder against Detroit week 3 of the 2021 season. Well, he's going to try one here from 56. And he pushed it right. No good. So Houston's going to get it at the 46. 2:25 left in the 3rd. It's still a 31-19 game. We go back to Campbell. Trap to the right side. We know Vegas has seen it before, but they haven't stopped it. And with that gain, Of 8, Earl Campbell is now over 200 yards. And we are not even to the end of the first quarter yet. We're going to go play action long pass, and we're going to look to Hopkins. 45% chance this works, and he's got it. It's Hopkins, 26-yard gain. Fred the Hammer Williamson on the stop. We had Las Vegas earlier in the season. I was talking about how Fred the Hammer Williamson played in some movies in the 70s, but was an absolute bomb on Monday Night Football in 1974. Did some preseason games, and he was so bad that he had to immediately be replaced. Sweep to the right with Earl Campbell, 1st and 10. Also played in Super Bowl I for the Chiefs. And Campbell slashing for another 9 yards, getting him to 209. I don't know the record offhand, but I think we did a Monday night game in season 1 where Jim Taylor rushed for over 270. And Campbell could be on that kind of pace right now. The single game rushing record of the HTFL. And last night we had the kicker for Washington, Hopkins, hit 6 field goals. I don't think that's ever happened in a HTFL game before, but I'd have to look that up over the weekend. So Campbell trapped left, scant seconds left in quarter number 3. He gets the first down, and we have played 3 quarters. It's Houston 31 and Las Vegas 19. Las Vegas now up to 41 plays, 227 yards. Houston has run 39 plays. 33 of them have been rushes, and they have 322 yards. Well, we're going to stick with Earl Campbell. The ball isn't heavy, right? That's what John McKay used to say all the time. Trap to the right side. Campbell, another touchdown. And another 10 yards. He's up to 220 now. And this is very reminiscent of the Monday night game in 1978 where Houston beat Miami 35-30 and Earl Campbell had 4 touchdowns. The kick by Del Greco is good. And Houston has now doubled up Las Vegas. It's 38-19. And we have now... What are you doing, Ella? That's your tail. 14:50 left in the game unless Vegas makes a miraculous comeback and we go to overtime. Gafford, inside the 5, moves it up to the 32, a return of 29 yards. Santonio Holmes, hero of Super Bowl 43 that was played right not too far from me in Tampa, has entered the game. He is number 10. He will be on the bottom of your TV screen. A 1st and 10 for Vegas. They do have the weapons to get back in this game, and there's a nice completion to Victor Cruz. His first of the day, a 26-yard grab. And Carr at 16 of 29 for 205 now. 1st and 10 at the 42 of Houston. Garner cannot turn the corner. He got right back to the line, and that's it. Williams on the stop for the Oilers, who are playing a 4-1 dime, which means they use 6 defensive backs. 2nd and 10 at the 42. Carr in the gun. He throws. Incomplete. The timing on that route to Lavernius Cole's not just right, and it was Dishman knocking it down. Chris Dishman for the Oilers. 3rd and 10 at the 42. That's a completion to Holmes, a gain of 7. And Justin Tucker coming back on the field. He will try one from 52 to cut it to a 16-point game, and he nails it. So it's 38-22 with 12:14 to go. Not a bad move by Vegas because that makes it a 2-score game, but the 2 scores that they get have to be touchdowns, and they have to hit their 2-point conversions on each. Levias, Johnson, and Slayton back deep for Houston as we continue to play back and forth football here. Tucker's kick goes out of the end zone, and Houston will get it at the 20. And we keep going to Earl Campbell. This will be his 27th carry of the game. And I'm just going to keep running the ball with him. Been doing good so far. Campbell, another 7 yards. Kennard will be out. And they will bring in, looks like Carter for Las Vegas. Michael Carter out of SMU. I think he played for the 49ers. He's on that front four now with Eisenhower, Schwartz, and Antwine. 2nd and 3 with the trap left and trap right buttons lit up. Medium fly to Andre Johnson. That's a catch and a gain of 20. Keeping the Vegas defense honest. We're going to stretch it with Campbell. 1st and 10 at the 47. And he picks up 3. He's at 230 yards now. And no sign of letting up. Sweep it right. Earl Campbell, 2nd and 7. And that's back to the line, and that's it. That was his 29th carry. And he's still at 230 yards. A 3rd and 7. Cross to Andre Johnson. See if he could be a giant. And Hopkins into the... I'm sorry, that's Deshaun Watson into the secondary. A huge pickup, 29 yards. Houston now 38 carries as a team for 297. Impressive rushing numbers here by the Oilers. And with this being Monday night, I think the whole league's going to pick up on what Houston's been able to do. Campbell, sweep to the left side. And Campbell past the 20, past the 10, down at the 5. Another 16 yards for Earl Campbell. And Nick Bonacani made that tackle at the 5. Well, 8:35 left. We'll slow it down. We'll go double tight end with one running back, but we're still giving the ball to Earl Campbell. Trap to the right side. And Campbell loses a yard. 10th tackle of the day for Tom Addison. You see him there, the outside linebacker for Vegas. 2nd and goal at the 6. Go back to a double tight end set. And we'll go back to Earl Campbell. Trap to the right side. And he's got another touchdown. And he's now at 251 yards on the day. And it's 44-22 now in favor of the Oilers. Having... looking at how many touchdowns Campbell has. That is his 3rd of the day. His point after try is good, and Houston now leading 45-22, and we still have 7 minutes to go in this game. We'll kick it deep, but it's going to go out of bounds.
Kicking team.
And you see it there. And it's 1st and 10 at the 40 for Vegas. We're now trailed by 23. Carr throwing and then completion. 6:55 left to go. 45-22. Houston leading, and that's a throw and a catch to Victor Cruz, a gain of 14. So after this, we're going to have no undefeated teams left in the HTFL, and we'll look before we go and see if there's anybody who hasn't won yet. A 1st and 10 at the 46. I think everybody has won at least one game. But I could be wrong. Cruz, an incomplete pass. They had a double on Lavernius Coles, one of 2 defenders, play the same receiver. For all you football widows out there. 2nd and 10 at the 46 of Houston. And there's the throw. It is Cruz gaining 5. 3rd and 5 at the 41. Vegas trying to keep their drive alive, and they can't. Another incompletion. This time, Vegas is going for it with 5:09 to go. 4th and 5 at the 41. The field goal would be of 58 yards, and it would only cut the deficit to 19. So Vegas going for it. And it's a sack and a fumble. Carr jumped on it, but they're not going to be able to get the first down that way. Houston takes over. Exactly 5 minutes to go. And Earl Campbell still in the game. I think they want that all-time single-game record. Off tackle right side. But Vegas is playing short and tight, so we're going to go Andre Johnson on a medium fly. Take no prisoners. That's an incompletion. 2nd and 10. Doesn't help Houston out any. Trapped to the right side, Earl Campbell. And he doesn't gain anything there. Nailed by Harvey. 4:45 left. Houston will milk the clock. And we're going to run a draw play to Earl Campbell. See how many more yards he could pick up. That's 4 more to get him to 255 on the day. And Houston will let the clock go all the way down to 3:23 and take a timeout. They have 2 left. Vegas still has all of theirs left. Ball to 49. They're 51 yards away. And we're just going to punt it deep with Norton. And Taylor taking it about the
Offsides.
7.
Offense. 5-yard penalty.
And the penalty will be declined. Vegas takes over at their own 14. 3:16 left to go. Carr throwing. An incomplete pass. Carr is now 20 of 38 for 239. Vegas with 275 yards on 53 plays. They've committed 4 penalties. They haven't committed a turnover yet. It's just Houston has been very good.
Offsetting penalties. Repeat, second down.
All right, so ignore that throw to Sanders. 2nd and 10 at the 14. 3:05 left in the game. Throw complete to Santonio Holmes. He gets the first down. And Houston's not going to aid Vegas by calling a timeout. 2:56 left. Another first down. Carr's going to run. He'll get the first that way. Gain of 11. 2:13 left. Vegas calls their first timeout. They have 2 left. Carr throwing deep has Victor Cruz. Another big gain for Cruz of 35 yards. So he's now up to 4 catches and 80 yards. 2-minute warning. 45-22 Houston. With 1:57 to go, each team now with 2 timeouts and their challenge, which neither will likely be used. To the sidelines and Lavernius Coles for 7 more. Carr now, that was his 23rd completion. He's at 291 yards. So he's 9 shy of a 300-yard day. We'll see if he gets it. Not on that play, another incompletion looking for Emmanuel Sanders. 3rd and 3, ball to 23, 1:41 to go. I got to think Vegas will go for it if they don't get it. And they don't get it because it was a throw to Holmes, incomplete. 4th and 3, 1:38 to go. I think Houston will put the scrubs in. If Vegas does not get the first down, which they do not get. So Watson going out. David Carr is one of the quarterbacks for Houston. I think I'll put him in. We have 1:35 to go. And Earl Campbell's coming out to the plaudits of the crowd. And we're going to put in for him Arian Foster. Give him a few carries. And it's going to be a dive play to Foster on first down. He doesn't gain anything. And does Vegas call a timeout? They do not. They could be just holding on to the timeout because they only got 2. 1:26 to go. Billy Cannon, off tackle right side. He doesn't gain anything, and Vegas still doesn't call a timeout. So I'll just tell Carr to take a knee, see if we can get out of here. And that is your game, your final. Houston 45 and the Ironmen 22. MVP has to be Earl Campbell, right? It is. Your team stats. Houston was 5 for 5 in the red zone. Deshaun Watson only had to throw 8 passes, which is very old school. It's something you'd probably see in a 70s NFL game. Vegas with 59 plays, Houston with 54. Houston had the ball 6 minutes more than Vegas did. Everybody scored in the red zone. Vegas kicked the only field goal in the red zone. They went 2 for 3 in terms of touchdowns when they kick a field goal. So both teams were perfect in the red zone. Carr had the better passing day. Well, he had 283 yards, but actually Watson had A 5 for 8 day, 101 yards, threw for 2 touchdowns on those 8 throws. And you see the gaudy stats of Earl Campbell: 34 carries, 255. His longest gain was 32 yards. He picked up 11 first downs on his own. Quite a day. Wasn't a single game record, but it was close. Vernon Davis, 5 catches for 64 yards. The yardage leader was Cruz, 4 for 80. Leading tackler was Addison with 10 for Vegas. So your final, again, 45-22, Houston with the win. And it goes to 2-2, and Vegas will fall to 3-1. We only have one team that hasn't won yet. That's Tennessee. They are 0-4. So I hope you all enjoyed tonight's game. I know the Friday game takes a little longer because we go through the scores of the games we didn't play. Be back Monday, January 31st for the New York-Baltimore game here on most of these HTFL stations, as I like to say jokingly. So if you like what you see, subscribe, hit that thumb button, hit the bell so you can get updates on YouTube whenever we have a video that goes up. This has been Big Paulie coming to you, wishing you well, hoping you all have a nice weekend. Godspeed and God bless. We'll do it all again soon. Bye-bye for now, everybody.